Another Brick fan with a BrickHeadz set from the Lord of the Rings. This is Frodo and Gollum. This is set 40630, was released in January 2023. It has 184 pieces and cost about $15 when it was released. This is one of 3 Lord of the Rings BrickHeadz sets that have been released this year. I'm very happy to see new Lord of the Rings sets. The Rivendell set is incredible. And these new BrickHeadz sets are also very nicely done. This is one of those sets that contains a full-size or normal-size BrickHead along with a half-size or smaller BrickHead. So let's go ahead and get these built and then take a look at the finished BrickHeadz. Here are our finished BrickHeadz. We have Frodo here in his green elvish robe. He's also got the ring and his sword Sting. Here is Gollum. Gollum's in probably this pretty hairless look. It's very small, a little bit of hair, I guess, on the side, and then this fish. So let's take a look at each of them individually. So here is Frodo Baggins, and he is wearing a nice jacket here. He's got a red jacket over like a brown vest, it looks like. If you look very closely, this print is very nice because it has the elven clip. You may recall when they went to Rivendell, they all got these elvish cloaks to wear. Sting is an elvish blade that they found along their way. I believe Gandalf the Grey also got an elvish sword when they found those in a cave. Looking at the side here, you see the hair is done pretty well. They use some extra studs here. I think Frodo had some, curly hair, so that was there to represent that. The cloak kind of goes over his hand. You can just barely see the ring of power down here. The set actually came with 3 of those, so those ring pieces are kind of nice to get. Looking around the back, you see we have this very wide cape. It's nicely done in this dark green, so I like that. The hair is all studs here in the back. The cloak continues along the other side here, so both sides of the BrickHead are done pretty much the same way. So that is good. Once again, this Sting. So my only complaint about this sword here is the fact that it's probably a little bit too big. I get that they only have one mold of this particular sword, but Sting was a short sword, not a full-size sword. It might be the right size for this figure, but I believe Gandalf the Grey has the exact same sword, which would be, his sword was actually much longer than the sword that Frodo had. Let's take a look at Gollum. Here is Gollum, also known as Smeagol. That was his original name, I believe, when he first found the Ring of Power. He's done in this all kind of light tan color. There are a couple printed pieces, I think 3 of these, where he has just a little bit of hair, so he's bald on top. Maybe that should have been a tile instead of a plate, but Regardless, here is the kind of some printing, his ears, small hands down here on the bottom. The back also has some exposed studs here and that same hair print there. And then the other side is built exactly the same way, and he has one of these fish pieces in this nice sand blue color, so that was good to get. He has a smaller sized BrickHead with the 3x3 base instead of the 4x4 base, so he's a little bit smaller and shorter than a regular BrickHead, but that kind of makes sense, and I think it's accurate for the character. As I said in the intro, I'm very happy to see more Lord of the Rings sets coming out. I missed out on most of the ones that came out back when the movies were first out, so it's nice for me to be able to get some of these at retail price instead of having to spend a whole bunch of money to get the older sets. As far as value goes, I'm very happy to see that BrickHeadz have not gone up in price. So this set is $15, which is pretty standard for the regular size and smaller size BrickHead. Those have been pretty much that same price for the last 5-6 years now since BrickHeadz came out. So very nice. I think that you get lots of pieces generally in BrickHead sets. So in this one has 184, which is just under the 10 cent per piece. Although some other BrickHead sets you get, 300 or 400 pieces. So it just varies depending on how the BrickHead's built, but the pricing on BrickHeadz has been very stable over the years. Hope you've enjoyed my thoughts on these BrickHeadz. I'm going to get started on my next video. And until then, happy building. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and be sure to subscribe to see more of my LEGO reviews. I've left a link to my BrickHeadz review playlist up here